Two things are guaranteed to be present at a birthday party: fun and food. But one celebration was crashed by an unwelcome visitor. Have a look. In Charlotte, North Carolina, a potluck birthday party had one very unwelcome guest: fecal bacteria. After coming in contact with a bacteria called Shigella, over 40 people reportedly felt ill and half of them were rushed to the hospital. Shigella can cause symptoms like bloody diarrhea, fever, and abdominal pain. The local county health director did say that the food itself wasn't bad, but it was likely contaminated by someone who prepared it. So should your next party be a DIY, do it yourself, when it comes to food? Or would you risk it being BYOB, bring your own bacteria? I'm not clapping because this is good. But every time you go to any party, there is a potential for this. In this case, we're talking about shigellosis. That's an infectious disease caused by Shigella bacteria. A couple days usually start to develop symptoms, and it can last for up to a week. We haven't talked about it as much on the show as we have other GI bugs like E. coli's of the world, salmonella, but not something pleasant.
No,
severe diarrhea.
And a common problem. I mean, 500,000 cases in the U.S. per year, but globally, 165 million. You're talking about
big problem.
Yeah.
You're talking about a lot of loose stools. Let me tell you.
And when you think about it, 40 people at this party getting sick, probably from just one dish. That's just, it really underscores the importance of anytime you're about to cook, anytime you're about to eat, wash your hands. I mean, it just goes without saying.
And if there is a risk that you think your food might be contaminated, cooking it thoroughly, because the cooking process doesn't just cook the food, it cooks the bacteria and kills the bad bacteria.
Preparing the food ahead of time, make sure, you know, being careful with knives and not cross-contaminating, and making sure you're washing fruits and vegetables, all those things that we talk about.
Here's the reality. This can happen at a birthday party. It can happen when you go out to dinner. It can happen if someone in your family is ill. And the biggest thing is this: we talk about fecal oral transmission. So anyone out there watching at home or in the audience, if you are having a diarrheal-like illness, think about this. That diarrhea, what is coming out in it, if it is a bacterial infection, could be viral, but what's coming out in it are the infectious agents. So if you're having those symptoms, and you may not realize it, all it takes is a little bit, but hate to be gross, but it's happening, and maybe a little gets on your hands, and then you're making the family or the birthday party dinner.
Yeah.
That's how it happens, though. So you have to step out. If you're someone who's been dealing with these things, you're not wanting to get intimate with people, you don't want to be cooking their food.
Yeah.
You step back and say, look, I'm sick. I've got a bad GI bug. I have to sit this one out.
True, but I think even caregivers have to keep this in mind, because a lot of moms might be changing the baby's diaper. If baby has a little bit of runny poop and you just don't think about it, a little trace remains on your hand. Or people even who are caregivers for an elderly parent or someone else. You just don't realize all the bacteria that can seed your hand and then contaminate everything else you touch.
But a little bit of runny poop in a baby, if they're not infected. What's worrisome to me about things like Shigella is actually if we give that bacteria to our babies or the elderly with compromised immune systems. Because if I get shigellosis, most likely, because I'm otherwise healthy to my knowledge, I will potentially have some diarrhea, even bloody diarrhea. I'm not going to feel good. I may have some fevers, but should get better. But those who are weak, really young, elderly, this can be a really serious infection.
You can dehydrate very quickly.